So I heard you say that there's no point in buying a Wii U right now.
For anybody who's not a Nintendo fan, no.
Wow, I wonder why that is. So where did we leave off yesterday?
Where did we leave off, y'all? I think we left off where I think we left off at bugs.
No, 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 it was about creativity because apparently you think that kids aren't creative. That's why they make those games are only for like adults. Or
Did that ever come out of my mouth?
well, pretty much you said that the reason why the game is not just made for kids is because it's creative and it's long.
I didn't say it's not made for kids because it's creative. I said it's not made for kids because the creation tools are very extensive and deep. They have a lot of depth to them. That's what I said.
That's not really. That's I mean, kids know how to use that. It's not that big of a deal, to be honest.
If you give
A freaking Call of Duty can you can call that creative if you want.
if you give a kid a tool set that they don't know how to use, then that tool set is not for kids.
If you haven't played a game before, obviously you're not gonna know how to use it at first, but then you learn on later. So you're saying that those kids can't like learn later on?
They could learn. They could be very, on the surface with the tools. They could spawn a sticker here, spawn a block there. But can they make an FPS game in Little Big Planet 2? No.
Call of Duty is like FPS and that's filled with like billions of little kids.
I didn't say they can't play an FPS. I said they can't create an FPS on Little Big Planet 2.
I mean, if you asked every little kid that played that game, then I'll probably believe you. But you just that's what you want to think.
Playing an FPS is not the same as creating an FPS.
How do you know not there's not a single kid out there that created an FPS?
There probably is, but they're geniuses.
I mean, that's what you want to think.
They're genius kids. They are 0.0000001% of the kid population in the whole entire world.
Yeah, I doubt it. Especially when the game was targeted for kids in the first place.
Got any proof?
Um, the architecture of the game, the game how it looks like, the
Do you have a quote from Media Molecule where they stated that, hey, we made this game for kids?
do you have a quote anywhere that says only like 0.1% of little kids have made an FPS in actual game?
Can you find somewhere where a kid has made an FPS in a game?
Um, you can. Not everybody makes freaking YouTube videos. I mean, you never know how
I
many
didn't
people.
say it had to be on YouTube.
I don't know. I don't play the game, but you can't just assume that there's no kid that have
My
a game.
point is, you ask, can you prove that it's a very small percent of the population? I can prove that it's a very small percent of the kid population because you are not able to find any that have done these kinds of things.
Where would you find proof on internet?
Dude, it's the internet. Everything's on the internet.
So someone makes a video and I'm supposed to know if they're a kid or not. If they make an FPS mod, and you're saying that the only proof is on the internet. That everyone, all these little kids that made these mods, all of them, all of them put them on the internet, or if they didn't, they obviously didn't do
How
it.
many times do you hear or see a kid modder? A modder that's a kid, a 9-year-old kid. How many times have you seen that in your life?
I hear little kids modding.
How many times have you seen a kid modder?
When I get on freaking PS3 and I play online, I hear little kids all the time on Call of Duty. Oh, I modded this game. I modded that game.
Kids modding Call of Duty on PS3. That's what you're telling me.
They're not talking about. Well, they get on the PS3 and they talk about. Oh, I modded this game. I modded that game. Like, I mean, you're saying little kids don't know how to hack?
Oh, you just take you take their word for it. You take a kid's word for what they do.
Well, obviously,
Kids think finding a glitch in a game is modding. That's how they talk. That's the vocabulary. That's how they
I mean,
are, dude.
if you met every kid that you've ever seen on the internet, then I'll probably believe you.
Like, have you ever seen any like those Crisis PC mods or anything like that?
Well, most kids don't even really have a gaming computer
You know that
on the
really?
PC.
Oh, so not only do kids not make mods, but you just said yourself that kids don't even have the tools to even make the mods to begin with.
On the PC, what people I said
That's where the majority of mods are, dude. That's where
there's
99.9% of the
mods
mods are.
there's mods on the PS3. There's mods on the
Very
360.
few.
Uh, Not really.
Unreal Tournament 3 is pretty much the only game I could think of off the top of my head. And of course, Little Big Planet.
So the whole point was that little kids can mod the game, and you just said that, yeah, the little kids do mod Little Big Planet.
Mods are made on PCs, right?
Well, obviously.
So if mods are made on PCs, and like you just said, kids don't have PCs that could create mods, then how could kids
Well, you were talking
make
about
mods?
Crisis 3, which is a lot different from Little Big Planet.
Okay.
So modding, just because you mod in one game doesn't mean you mod it the exact same way. I don't mod myself, but I do know it's not exactly the same.
What?
You were comparing a Crisis 3 mod on the PC, but Little Big Planet mods, I'm pretty sure they're a lot different. The techniques for that.
Okay.
So I don't see a point why you should compare that to another game at all.
I wasn't saying it's the same level of complexity. The only reason why I brought up Crisis is because you brought up modding. I didn't bring up modding. You brought up modding. And so I was like, have you ever seen a Crisis mod or anything like that? And I was like, you mean to tell me a kid could do something like that? No.
Well, we're talking about Little Big Planet, aren't we?
Yeah, we're talking about Little Big Planet. But go look at some Little Big Planet 2 gameplay. Go look at the FPS I keep talking about. Go look at that Star Fox game that somebody created on Little Big Planet 2. And tell me if a little kid could create that. Using a 2D side-scrolling game, can a little kid make an FPS or arcade flight game?
Well, I haven't interviewed every little kid that does mods on that game, so
in other words, you're saying something.
It's kind of biased to say, oh, that's impossible. Not even a single kid can do this.
So basically, you're saying something that you have no proof of. Is basically what you're saying.
Well, you have no proof. I haven't seen you asking every little kid that modded Little Big.
I do have proof. You can't find any. That's my proof.
So you know for a fact that no little kid can mod that game.
Like I said, it'd be a very, 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 very few.
The point is, they do know how to mod. So what you think of few, I guess. I mean, yeah, they do mod.
How many kid modders do you know?
I don't play that game at all, so.
No, I'm not talking about that game. I'm just saying in general. How many kid modders do you know?
I personally don't add little kids on the internet, but I do hear every time I get on play any multiplayer game, people talking about modding, hacking, and they're probably like 10, 12-year-olds.
And so what they're saying is true.
I know, but if every time I get on, obviously some people have to be talking the truth.
So you mean to tell me when you get on your PS3 and you're playing Call of Duty and you hear a kid talking about, oh, I mod this game, I modded it the other day, you believe him?
Not just COD, it's not just.
Well,
yeah,
I'm just giving an
I
example.
do play Call of Duty, I see people, like for example, when I go back to like Modern Warfare 1, there's people flying all over the damn map. There's people making their own goddamn levels. Like, that's creative.
Modern Warfare 1 has tons of glitches that allow you to do that. I know exactly what you're talking about. I do it all the time on Crossfire.
On World at War, people tell me, oh, they modded their PS3 so they can fly and have, what is it called? Every time you respawn, you die. you get shot. Some glitch shit like that.
Oh,
Modding.
we got kids modding their PS3s now.
Go on World at War. Go on World at War.
Yeah, there's modders on World at War. They're not kids though.
That-
They're not 9-year-old kids.
I've seen it.
They're not 9-year-old kids, dude.
12, 11, 12-year-olds, high-pitched voices.
And actually, what you're getting two things confused. Even if those are kids, they didn't make those mods themselves. If those are kids going around doing those hacks or whatever, all they're doing is downloading and applying the hack. They didn't make the mod. They didn't make the file or the program themselves. So either way, you lose.
Yeah, it's still modded.
No. No, if I download a mod for,
So you can't download mods for Little Big Planet?
I don't think you download mods, you make the mods yourself on Little Big Planet.
I'm pretty sure. I haven't played the game, but
Yeah, you have.
Yeah, 2%. I didn't even finish.
You played it.
You can't really say you experienced the game when you only played like 1 or 2% of the game.
You played
I literally put the disc in, played it for maybe 5 minutes, and then I took the disc. Well, not the disc. It was the downloadable content, and I stopped playing it. I can't really have an opinion on it.
Oh, so you can't have an opinion on it, but
Well,
this whole time you've been judging it.
No. I'm trying to say like I can't really say, oh, I know everything about the game. If I only played it for like a few percent.
Oh, okay. So now you're admitting your lack of knowledge in the game.
Okay.
Now you're saying that you can't talk about the game because you haven't played it.
If I see a Hannah Montana game, I obviously know it's made for little girls. I don't have to play the game to know what type of group audience it's made for.
In that case, no. In Little Big Planet's case, yes. You just said yourself you can't judge the game. You listen. You just said yourself you can't judge it because you hardly played it. So why have you been judging it this whole time?
I can't really judge the tools of the game because I haven't really used them.
Exactly, that's my point.
But you told me some of the options they had was first person. You can go in first person, which isn't that.
No,
really
it's not an option. It's not a preset option. It's something you have to make through work.
You have to make, so quote unquote, a lot of work to make a first person mod. And you were saying, oh, do you know about this and do you know about that? But I told you I haven't tried it. But obviously now that you told me, I do know that what you're trying to tell me about the mods.
Okay, well, like I was saying, you yourself said that you didn't even get to even use the tools. You just admitted that you don't know the tools of the game. So how could you say that the tools aren't for more older people when you haven't used the tools yourself?
You just told me you can make stuff. You can make stuff in any game. It's not that.
Because I tell you what you can make in the game. That's not that's not me telling you every tool that's in the game and everything you can do. I mean, it is telling you some things you could do, but that's just the surface, dude. I'm just giving you an example of complex things that people have accomplished on that game.
Just like Pikmin, it's just like that game. There's no way that game does not appeal for little kids.
It appeals to them, but it's not made for them. Call of Duty appeals. So if a game appeals to kids, it's for kids.
You tell me a game. Okay, when they describe the environment in that game, and you'll see what I'm trying to do.
Explain the environment. It's a bunch of plants, and you're running around in the dirt.
So, what type of creatures are you running around with?
Insects.
So, you're gonna tell me okay, so now let's look at Call of Duty. It has real people, it has guns, and the storyline, it's a lot more realistic. I'm not saying it's ever gonna happen, but it's a lot more realistic than Pikmin. So you're telling me that both of those, makers of that certain, I don't know, Mafia 1, Mafia 2, whatever, came out and said...
I will tell you this right now. A bunch of plant creatures fighting insects is a lot more realistic than Call of Duty's freaking storyline. Okay? Call of Duty is some exaggerated Hollywood times 1,000 bullshit. Okay.
like I was trying to say, what my point was, original point was, okay, when we're making this game, okay, most teenagers, most adults want to buy a game with little bugs crawling around. Okay, Call of Duty, yeah, that game is originally made for older people, but it's like saying beer is made for adults, but there's little kids that drink beer. Does that mean now, beer is for everybody? No. That's why Call of Duty, it's
No,
not
it
really.
doesn't. But you
That's how.
do realize that guns appeal to kids just as much as colorful games do. What makes you think guns are so mature? What do you see a little
My,
kid
my
doing all
point.
the time? You see a little kid using his index finger and his thumb, going
I'm
pew 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 since the age of 3, dude.
My point is,
G.I. Joe, the cartoon, guns.
my
Action
point,
figures,
my,
guns.
my
Power
point.
Rangers, guns. There is nothing mature about guns. Nerf
So guns
guns,
are
water
mature.
guns, pellet guns. There is nothing mature about guns.
So guns are equivalent to the level of maturity to little bugs crawling around. Wow, that's a good one, man.
Video games are video games, dude. I'm
Is that
explaining to
true?
you how
Yes or no?
guns are not mature. Guns are not mature. Little kids think they love guns. They like to imagine playing with guns at the age of 2, dude. Like,
Is there any green plants in your pocket or anything you've been smoking at all? Because I'm pretty sure there's a reason why little kids aren't supposed to have their hands on the gun. Pretty sure there's a reason for that.
so you're saying little kids don't like guns.
Little kids can like anything. They could like anything. That's why you gotta teach them. Oh no, this you can do this, you can do that. Little kids can be appealed to literally anything. But you really can't say that there's no game mainly targeted for little kids, which is Pikmin. Now you're trying to say, oh, guns, little kids running around with AK-47s. Okay, yeah, there you go.
I didn't say they go around with AK-47s, dude. I
But
said
you,
that at the youngest ages, little kids have an attraction to guns. Now, your point is, at that age, little kids have an attraction to bugs and everything like that. So you're saying because kids love bugs, Pikmin is kitty. And I'm telling you that those same kids who love bugs love guns. So
well,
why
there's
aren't guns
a
kitty?
Nintendo fanboy little trick again, saying that
Using logic is a trick?
no, because the thing is, my original that wasn't even my original point. My original point was that when a company makes a game, they target a certain group of audience, or maybe they target everybody. But in this case, that game is for little kids, and guns appeal. Well, anyone can be appealed to guns, but there's a reason why there's an age limit. You can't. A 10-year-old wants a real gun, you're not going to get a real gun. But if a 10-year-old wants to go buy a game like Pikmin, they'll get it in less than a heartbeat. So you can't really say a gun that can actually kill someone is equivalent in maturity to a video game in any type. I don't know why you even compare that.
A gun is a real thing.
Uh,
Pikmin is a video game.
yeah,
So, of course, dude.
you were saying they're both at the same level of maturity, which is not true at all.
I'm using your logic to show how
No,
flawed it is.
my point was that when people make any type of product, they have to have a target audience, and they're not going to be the same when you make a gun or a
Can you show me a quote where Nintendo said, "Hey, we made Pikmin for kids"?
So you can't really find a quote for a Hannah Montana game, but who do you think those developers were thinking in their mind? Oh yeah, Hannah Montana game. It's gonna be made for everybody. All these teenagers, everyone's gonna want it. No bullshit. No.
You can find somebody saying, "Oh, this game is made for
I'm not
girls."
sure. I'm not sure that My Little Pony game. I'm just making up on my head, but I'm pretty sure when they were making that game, oh yeah, we're gonna make that game for all. Everyone's gonna start playing that game. It's not like Wii Sports where it kind of appeals, to everybody, even though it's not really, a hardcore game.
And speaking of a hardcore game, you said last night that a hardcore game is a game that is challenging and a game that is good.
To create. Well, yeah, it depends on how you define good.
I mean, how you define good? A good game is a good game. It's that easy.
Well, yeah, and it's Pikmin. I'm pretty sure that little bug crawling bitch ass game isn't good.
How old are you, Nick?
17.
17. So
Why?
you're not even an adult yet.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna be playing a game that's made. If I'm not gonna go buy a Hannah Montana game, even though that's made for kids, no, you can't say a 17-year-old has interest in the same game as a 10-year-old or 9-year-old.
I'm trying to figure out why somebody who is 17 years old, and I'm not trying to insult you or anything, but 17 years old and you have a bedtime and you're talking about how you don't want to play kiddie games and how you're all mature and stuff like this.
I have to get up like at
I don't understand.
6 o'clock. Anyone that has a mind is not gonna stay up all night if they have to get up early the next day. I'm not gonna stay up.
Dude, I heard your mom came in the debate last night.
Yeah, she told me.
I heard that. She told you to go to bed, dude.
When you were in high school, did your parents ever they're not gonna let you stay up till 2 in the morning? That's kind of obvious shit. But that's completely irrelevant to the topic.
I'm just saying. I'm trying to understand why you, as a kid, are trying so hard to not be a kid.
So a 6-year-old has the same interest in the same games as a 17-year-old, 16-year-old.
Say that again.
A 6-year-old, 10-year-old will be interested in the same games as a 17-year-old, 16-year-old.
Yes,
whatever.
such as Mario Kart.
You're telling me a 6-year-old or a 10-year-old has the same type of brain?
Because two different age groups share something similar or in common or a mutual liking. That doesn't mean they have the same mindset, dude. Wait, am I just as immature as a 10-year-old because I play Mario Kart?
There are like 30-year-olds that watch My Little Pony. Are you gonna say that they're not immature now?
That's a whole nother topic which I don't want to get into because I'm sure there's some bronies in the chat box right now.
Oh no, there are people, aren't they? So there's a lot of them out there. So I'm not a brony myself. I think bronies are pretty dumb. No offense, but
you're trying to compare Mario Kart to My Little Pony?
You're the one who brought Mario Kart. I wasn't even talking about Mario Kart. We were talking about.
Well, we're talking about what your definition is, quote unquote, kiddie games. So yeah, I could go to Mario Kart.
Why do you think everybody who debates you has always been having the same argument with you? There's not the main people who debated you have the same argument against you. No one's ever came out.
Because I'll tell you why. Because you guys don't think for yourselves. Your logic, your reasonings, it's all adopted from the people around you, from the people you see, because you want to fit in with those other people.
No, there are other people.
That's
why. That's not really true.
All this logic originated from Chad Warden himself, who was a troll. So all you Sony Jones right now, congratulations. You have adopted a philosophy and a argument system. You have adopted the philosophy of a troll who wasn't even serious.
I'm getting this out. I didn't go look at Chad Warden's video and write down on a pen.
I'm not saying you got it directly for him. I'm saying this is when this whole mindset started. Because the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox era, you didn't see people going around talking about Mario and Kitty and
there wasn't really a YouTube.
It started this gen with Sony drones.
There was not really a YouTube community. I don't even think YouTube was even that popular at that time.
I'm not talking about YouTube, dude. The internet existed. The internet existed in the GameCube days. It existed in the N64 days.
YouTube made people's opinions a lot more heard than going on like Yahoo Answers or some shit like that.
IGN existed a long time ago. Gaming sites existed a long time ago, way before YouTube, dude. I'm not talking about just YouTube. At
that time, I was probably like 12, 11. I don't know how old I was at that time, but I'm pretty sure at that time those games did appeal to me. Well, I wouldn't go. I want to go back and play the games that I grew up with because your mindset changes in interest. That's why a lot of people say, "Oh, I grew up with Mario. I played that game when I was a kid." But you're not going to play the exact same games that you played when you were like, however old you were.
So, as a 19-year-old, I shouldn't be playing Mario Kart right now.
Um, if that's like a game that you really think it's not made for, I honestly
Yeah,
think that's
yes or no? Should I or should I not be playing Mario Kart?
By yourself. Or
Doesn't matter. Like, should I or should I not be playing Mario Kart?
I mean, if you're playing with, I'm not sure if you have a little sister or a little cousin, and if you play with them, it's okay. But if you actually are interested,
Yeah, by myself.
no.
So if I'm just sitting there bored and I just feel like having fun, just playing the game, I can't pop in Mario Kart and do a few races. I'm a pedophile for that.
There's a lot more racers like Need for Speed, Forza, Gran Turismo. All those racing games are a lot better than some bullshit ass Mario Kart.
You can't compare that, dude, because those are Sims. Mario Kart is a kart racer, a fantasy kart racer. You just try to compare Gran Turismo to Mario Kart.
I was trying to. Oh yeah. How do you play those racing games on the Wii U? Isn't that controller have a digital triggers?
Nice topic change, but yeah.
Okay, I'll get back. I mean, you kind of changed the topic a lot also, but yeah. Anyways, that's a racing game made for little kids.
What is?
Mario Kart.
Oh, Mario Kart.
And,
so,
why do you think all those trailers for that game? I mean, there was a freaking 3DS commercial. Have little kids performing on stage talking about how they want the 3DS. I'm not sure if you've seen this commercial, but there was a 3DS commercial, I think a year or two back, of little kids on a stage performing to their parents, and the whole time they were saying, "Oh, look at all these Mario games," and they were all like 8, 9, 10-year-olds. And you know why they picked those little kids? Because they know most little kids will buy their products. That was their target audience.
You know what else? I've also seen a 3DS commercial of four grown men in their 20s playing Mario Kart. A 3DS commercial.
Out of how many commercials were there little kids? You'll probably find one or two adults, and there's a shitload of little kids in those commercials. They probably add in the one or two commercials with adults, and then the rest 90% of them will have little kids. Like I said, the one when they were jumping.
Can you prove that?
All right,
Yeah. 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 I'm sorry, my dad. But anyways, continue.
Yeah, go on YouTube, look up Nintendo 3DS commercials, and you tell me some of the commercials that you see.
Yeah, and you know what I'll see? I'll see a commercial. I'll see a commercial with these two dudes playing Mario Kart 3DS, and then they lose, and then it shows these two Japanese girls in Japan that beat them. So it showed two grown men and then two Japanese little girls. So what does that mean? Mario Kart is marketed to everybody because they have grown men in the commercials, and then they have little girls in the commercial. So that means that it is for both the audiences.
3DS, Gabriel, Douglas, New Super Mario Brothers. Oh, there's one right there. Let me see if I can find the one with the little kid jumping on the stage, going crazy.
Gabby's not a kid. She's not 10 years old.
She looked like a 12-year-old. I'm sorry. She really.
Dude, Gabby is like, how old is Gabby now? She's like, what, like 17 or something? Like,
there's teenage girls playing with. Oh, right here, Nintendo. Sarah, I'm not sure. Is that Highland?
Wait, so you're saying teenagers are kids?
I'm pretty sure most teenage girls are not interested really.
No. Are you saying teenagers are kids?
No, I said teenage girls.
Teenage girls are kids, but teenage boys aren't.
Go in the gaming community, you find me 10 teenage girls that are actually equivalent to the amount of teenage boys.
What point are you trying to make?
The amount of teenage girls that actually are in the gaming community is like less than 1%.
What's your point?
That they barely play, they're casual, they don't give a crap about gaming. Right here, Nintendo 3DS, Sarah Hyland.
Okay, even if what you just said is true, what does that have to do with Gabby Douglas being in a 3DS commercial?
Yeah, like I said, I might have mistaken. I looked at it and she looked pretty young.
She's 17 years old, dude. She's just as old as you. So if
Here,
she's a kid, that means you're calling yourself a kid.
I sent you another link, and right there, click on that link. I'll go scroll down. I'll find more links.
The next big trend can come from anywhere.
Okay.
I'm trying to find right here.
It's a girl who is advertising for a girl's game. Yes. What is your point?
Why do you think they pick these little kids on these little games? Right there, here's another one.
But why do you keep ignoring the examples I bring up where they have grown men in their commercials?
Because there's like 2 of them versus amount of how many other commercials are little kids? Here, I'll scroll down and look for more. Oh yeah, and a lot of them, I'm not oh, never mind. I'm not sure if Nintendo has this, but a lot of times they have like on the VJ, they have people that never even played a game advertise for them.
Let me, yeah.
Oh man, you must be a little kid because your dad's calling you.
To what? What? To what? Misha was out the door last. Sorry.
Oh, what's telling you your bedtime too since he came in and interrupted you?
No, he's not.
Oh.
He's not telling me that I have a bedtime. He's telling me I didn't set the alarm. That's what he's telling me.
Yeah.
But let me show you guys a 3DS commercial right now that I just found like as the first result. If you type in 3DS Mario Kart 7 commercial.
Let's go look up. I know you.
Are you looking at the live stream right now?
I'm pretty sure you admitted that Tommy did RXL. Oh, Nintendo's mainly has little kid games, and there are somewhat of hardcore games out there if you want them. But obviously their main target was little kids. If there's mainly shovelware on their systems.
Got to do the dance. This time's gonna be different. John's time.
Not looking different.
Can you guys tell me why in this 3DS commercial it's
Wait,
4 guys in their 20s playing Mario Kart 7? Why is that?
Hey, listen, you're talking about one commercial. I just think
Dude, this is a different commercial. This is like the 4th commercial with these guys, these same guys playing Mario Kart.
I've been sending you links to like little kids. And didn't you admit in another debate with Nintendo most of the games are shovelware and trash? Because I remember you were debating RXL and he was saying there's no games. And you're like, oh, well, if you do research, you might be able to find some amount of games that aren't, because most of their games are shovelware and trash. Because Nintendo's main target is for little kids and casual gamers. And
Wait, so all the shovelware that the third parties made, that's Nintendo?
They all work together. I mean, there's a reason. Why isn't there shovelware and trash on Sony? Why isn't there shovelware?
Nintendo marketing to kids with. So you're saying because of the third parties games and the shovelware the third parties make, that's Nintendo marketing to kids.
I don't care. Who makes the point is if I go there and buy the system and all I see is shovelware and trash, I don't care who makes it. I'm not going to be interested in the system.
That's not all you see.
And oh, look at these commercials. The little chihuahuas running around. Nintendo 3DS commercial number 2. Little chihuahua doggies running around. Oh my god, this game is not for the system. So, man, I can't wait to go play with these little My Little Pony games. Just little dog games. I'll only go down. Look at some of these other games.
Well, what point are you making?
The games are shovelware and trash.
The Nintendo games or the games that third parties made?
The games that system has overall, the games that come to it.
So the third party games, that's what you're talking about, the third party games.
And Mario Kart is debatable.
So you're trying to get on Nintendo for something that Nintendo's not even doing.
You tell me that they obviously allow them to be on their system. So right here, Jewel Pet's Magic Rhythm. Oh my god. What a 3D
is so that great. Nintendo?
I don't know. There's so much shovelware and trash. I gotta look. That's Nintendo. Like I said, I don't care if it's Nintendo made them. The point is,
no. You do care because this whole time you're talking about Nintendo and the Wii U. So
their
if it's Nintendo's
it's their
not doing
system.
it, then your point doesn't matter and it's invalid,
Or
dude.
they're approving other developers to go on their system, so the gamers have to look at all this stupid trash that shovelware and trash that has on the system.
Why would you tell developers that you don't want their games that would make you a bunch of money because those games would sell millions?
Why aren't Sony and Microsoft doing it? If they can make so much money. Because why Nintendo is...
They are. Hannah Montana's on the PS3 and 360.
Are you really gonna sit here and tell me that Nintendo has the equivalent amount of shovel and trash as a PS3?
The U-Draw thing, that's on the 360 and PS3.
Let me go look at some of these.
Kinect, dude? Have you forgotten about Kinect? Like,
Okay,
seriously?
you want to have a little competition about how much shovel and trash?
Kinect is Shovelware galore.
Look, let me look at what's it
Michael
called?
Jackson is on the 360 and PS3. Just Dance is on the 360 and PS3. What about Wonderbook? What about the move games, the casual move games? What about those?
You were debating RXL. You even said that Nintendo has, you were calling it a money-making machine because of the amount of shovel and trash it has. Now let me go list some of these.
I didn't say that.
Since the Wii U hasn't been out for that long, the shovel and trash hasn't even came out for it. All the shovel trash has not even came out for it. So let me go list the Wii games. You can probably go on all night listing some of these Wii games. For our shovel.
You do realize that your point is completely null and void. Because the shovelware you're listing is not from Nintendo. We're talking about Nintendo here. Nintendo.
If I buy a system and I see what games do they have, I'm not gonna say, well, even though this game's shovel and trash, I'm still gonna buy it because it's not made of Nintendo, even though that's the system that the games are on.
Who said I buy shovelware?
My point was that more than half of the games that come out for that system are shovelware and trash.
Okay, so since more than half the games are shovelware and trash, as you call it, that means you have to buy those games?
There's not going to be a lot of room for the hardcore gamer when not freaking 80% of the games are shovel and trash. You've been playing the same IPs for like Legend of Zelda, Mario for like 25 years.
So now we're going from third-party Multiplat and shovelware to playing the same games for 25 years.
I'm talking about the games in general.
And what do you mean there's not enough space for the hardcore gamer?
Most of the games are shovel and trash, and you gotta freaking go around the world to find games. You gotta go on IGN just to find decent games.
No, you don't. I could walk into Walmart right now and see Metroid Other M on the Wii section. I can see Super Smash Bros. Brawl in the Wii section. I can see GoldenEye 007 on the Wii section. I can see Donkey Kong Country Returns.
That was a horrible version on the Wii. A horrible version on the Wii.
What are you talking about?
You're listing these games, but the games that you're listing were terrible on the Wii compared to the power on the 360 or PS3.
What are you talking about, dude? The only game I listed that was a Multiplat was 007, which actually got better ratings on the Wii.
So you don't think there's bias ratings, even though the graphics are better and the controls are better on the 360 and PS3, and
how are the controls better, dude?
The controller itself is a lot more, a lot more accurate than a goddamn nunchuck and a Wii remote.
Wait, so dual stick analog is more accurate than pointing?
So you're sitting down and moving your fingers is a lot more harder than you making.
No, you mean to tell me using your thumb to move a stick is more accurate than moving your wrist to point? How do we shoot in real life? We hold up our wrist, we point, and shoot. We do not shoot guns with our thumbs and a stick.
And you also don't have a little... Just because you point the controller doesn't mean you actually are, doing something in real life. In real life, you actually aim, shoot. The controller, you just freaking lift up, you put your hand up there, and you still press buttons. It's not like the gun magically... the controller...
We're talking about accuracy here.
The Wii is
You just said analog sticks are more accurate than IR pointing.
They're a lot more fun and more easier to use. Yeah, I don't care what you
Dude,
think
that's
about.
subjective. That's a matter of opinion, but it is factual that IR pointers are more accurate than sticks.
So the graphics look about like
And you do realize that 007 on the Wii supports the classic controller. So either way, your argument is
classic
completely
controller is
destroyed.
nowhere near as good as a 360 or a PS3 controller.
That's your opinion, dude.
That was a cheap plastic ass controller. Oh wait, talking about controls, how's that digital control on the Wii U going?
How's the what?
Doesn't the Wii U Pro controller have like a digital? What is it like? Is it top triggers or the bottom ones?
It's the bottom triggers. They're digital. What's your point?
That's gonna take away from being accurate.
Accurate on what?
Like a racing game. If you want to drive fast, you just go or nothing. There's no like it's like when you hold the R2 trigger, you can go halfway or all the way up. If you have digital buttons, I'm pretty sure it's all or nothing.
Yeah, that does suck. Personally for me, I don't care because I don't play racing sims. But yeah, that does suck
You
for
don't
people
care.
that do. Yeah.
What you were saying that I'm close-minded, but now you're saying, oh, I don't care.
No,
So,
I said that does suck for the people that care. I just said I personally don't, but it does suck for the people that do. But what's your point? You just you jumped topics
and
again,
the multiplats on the Wii are better than
and you
the.
just jumped topics again.
GoldenEye is a multiplat on the Wii, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I was talking on multiplats, wasn't I?
Yeah, and then you jump to digital buttons on the controller. You're talking about
Well,
you're
I gave
comparing
an
controllers.
example of Nintendo's controls, which aren't the best always. This is not. It's just an example from their latest system.
Dude, like digital and analog really doesn't make a difference in a shooter. It does in a racer, but in a shooter, that
Racing
doesn't
games are
change the
important.
controls.
Wasn't that a big important thing? Oh, Mario Kart, such a great game. Oh my, wasn't that one of the arguments you had? Have fun playing that game. Excuse me, have fun playing that game.
I've been playing Mario Kart with digital buttons since the beginning, dude.
Yeah, you're gonna have a disadvantage. You're gonna have a disadvantage with those digital buttons if you were to
Wait, I'm
have.
going to have a disadvantage against other people who have the same disadvantage I have? That makes no sense.
I'm saying it's a racing game at all. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Need for Speed Most Wanted, when that game comes out, you're gonna have a disadvantage compared to the PS3 and 360. Because there's no way you're gonna tell me digital buttons is more accurate than a actual button.
As I've already said before, yeah, digital buttons do suck for racers, but what does this have to do with the debate?
That's the example of why I'm going against the Wii U. I mean, there's other examples I can probably list. So
first it was the Wii U's not last gen, then it was Kitty Games, and then it was what,
we use
guys?
last gen because I mean there's simple stuff that we
Like you just keep on jumping topic from topic from topic.
use not last gen. You can't even play DVDs. You can't even sign into another Wii's account. If your Wii U breaks, you need to make a new Wii U account.
Oh, you hear that, guys? Don't buy a Wii U. It can't play DVDs.
The hardware failure. It's been failing on a lot of people.
Nick, I have a desktop. I have a laptop. I have a PS3. I have a 360. I have a DVD player. I have 5 devices in my room that could play DVDs.
That's you. Do you think everyone out there in the world is
Everybody out there has a DVD or a Blu-ray player. Yes.
I don't
Everybody
care.
does. Yes.
Those are relevant. We're talking about the Wii U features that doesn't have. Like for example, my PC has a Blu-ray. I don't have a Blu-ray player, but I do have one on my PS3. That would be an advantage. But not having a DVD player at all, that's gonna be a disadvantage.
Nick, anybody who can afford a video game system has a DVD player.
Still a disadvantage not having one. You can't say it's not a disadvantage.
A disadvantage how?
You can't play DVDs on your Wii U.
Oh no, whatever am I going to do?
That's a disadvantage, isn't it?
A disadvantage how? Yeah. How's that a disadvantage?
You can't play DVDs.
Yeah.
In 2013, on your system, or gaming system,
Give me 1 sec, man. 1 second.
and like, dude from like, how many years ago? Are you still there? Hello?
Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all know how big angry black men could be. You there, man?
Yeah, so,
Okay.
you're gonna tell me that's not a disadvantage? Even though my goddamn PS2 could run DVDs with a Wii, a next generation system can't do it?
How is it a disadvantage when you don't
Can't
need
play
it?
DVDs. Never know, there might be people that want to play DVDs on their system.
How could something you don't need be a disadvantage?
You don't need, that's your opinion. You never know if someone wants to have
That's not my opinion. I don't need my Wii U to play DVDs.
For you,
For everybody.
no, I'm pretty
Who
ask
who in the whole entire world can afford to buy gaming systems, but they can't afford a DVD or Blu-ray player?
It's not about affording or not. It's still a disadvantage. I'm not having one. I don't care if you have 10 DVD players. It's still a disadvantage. Just like on the PS3, you can play Blu-ray, but the 360 can't. So that could be an argument you can use why the hardware is.
Oh no, instead of popping the disc into my Wii U, I have to take 2 seconds to pop it into something else right next to it.
Like
No.
Like I said, it's still a disadvantage.
Nick, that is, I can't even call that small. Like that's not a point at all.
It's your opinion, but okay.
That's not a point at all.
That's your opinion.
It's not my opinion. So you're saying it's a big deal?
I'm not gonna say it's a major deal, but it is a problem. If a gaming system in 2013 came and played DVDs. Yeah.
But is that actually going to inconvenience anybody? No. Because everybody already has a multitude of devices that could play Blu-rays and DVDs. Not to mention Netflix, Hulu Plus, Amazon Video, the internet.
Yeah, a monthly charge.
I'm saying, dude, the Wii U not being able to play DVDs, that's not disadvantaging anybody. It's not.
If you ask everybody who owns a Wii U and you come up with some like a research paper, yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask everybody in here who has a Wii U. Guys, for those of you who own a Wii U, have you ever ran into a moment where you're like, oh no, my Wii U can't play DVDs. I forgot. Now I have to bust out my DVD player.
Yeah, the few hundred people in there is equivalent to like how many millions of Wii U's have sold? Wow.
So you're telling me it's a big problem?
I'm not saying it's a major problem, but it is a problem.
It's a problem. It's a problem because instead of popping the disc into your Wii U, all you have to do is spend an extra 2 seconds and pop it into something else. That's a problem.
Still a disadvantage.
That's a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Well, you know what, Nick? Some problems are so small to the point where they're not even worth mentioning.
If that's what you want to think.
Like, do you really think somebody's gonna actually not buy a Wii U because it doesn't play DVDs?
I never said that. I'm saying I never said it was a problem to that extent. I'm just saying it
If it's
is.
not a problem to that extent, then it doesn't matter.
You still have to list the problems, the advantages and the disadvantages.
If a problem isn't big enough to the point where it'll affect somebody's purchase, then it's really not a problem. Not
You're
that much
still
of a
gonna list
problem at
those
all.
problems. It's like on a PS3 you can't do cross game chat, so you're gonna be like, oh well, it has this disadvantage. Oh, well on a 360 you can't do Blu-ray, so you list that one. You gotta list the the pluses and the minuses. I'm just saying that's one example that I listed.
Yeah, you yourself are admitting that it's really not a problem at all.
I never said it was a really small one. I never said it's a really big one. I'm saying it's a disadvantage. Like I said, another example I made was the digital triggers. I mean, I'm just listing you the disadvantages and the advantages. Like yesterday when I was listing games.
Yeah, every
But
system has its advantages. Every system has its disadvantages. Yeah, what's your point?
You were saying it's not a problem, disadvantage at all. You said that few, kind of many times. You did say it's not a disadvantage at all, but now you're saying it
It's
is.
not, because everybody has something that could play.
You just said that it is a disadvantage.
No, I said every console has its advantages and disadvantages. I didn't say that it not being able to play DVDs was a disadvantage. I was talking about. I was referring to the triggers argument.
If you're comparing a PS3 and 360, and you list every little advantage and disadvantage, the PS3 and 360 can run DVD players. The Wii, I mean DVDs, and the Wii U can't. You want to say, oh well, it's not a major problem, but it's still a disadvantage. You cannot say it's not a disadvantage. I don't care if you own a DVD player or outside of your system, but still. Just like when I said, some of the multiplats, the multiplats that, excuse me, the Wii U does have, they don't always even run better.
Okay.
Like I said, I was listing advantages and disadvantages.
Kind of like with the PS3.
Oh yeah, the frame rate dropping down like under 20 on Black Ops. Why do you think people are comparing a next generation system to the so-called last generation system? There's obviously a reason. If the Wii U was so much better, there wouldn't be a comparison at all. Well, obviously there's a lot of people comparing.
There was 360 and Xbox comparisons when 360 first came out. What are you talking about?
360, when that came out, that had a horrible launch. Are you kidding me? That shit was recalled. You want to tell me that's why the systems are able
You're talking about hardware failures. We're talking about games here. You said it's sad that the Wii U is even being compared to the current gen systems, and I'm telling you, the 360 was compared to the current gen systems at that time.
You did list a game that looked a little better on the Wii U, by slightly. I mean, are you seriously joking around? A game that looks a little bit better, a next generation system that looks a little bit better, but then on the other side comes games that run a lot worse on the Wii U than on the PS3 and 360. And you even said, oh, they've rushed their games. That's a pretty big problem. You did mention that the games are being rushed, and I saw the live stream. You're saying there's really no point of buying a Wii U right now. Why wouldn't you think there's a point of buying a Wii U right now?
Because if you're not interested in New Super Mario Bros. U or Zombie U, then there's pretty much nothing right now.
I thought there was so many more other games. Like
there is.
Then why would you even?
They're not out now, but they are coming in February, March, and beyond.
That's not really a good thing. Like if how long has the system been out? And
2 months. 2 months.
And the multiplats are coming out 60%. Big ones, not just little ones. Grand Theft Auto, Crisis, Hitman. They're not coming.
Okay.
That's a pretty big damn problem.
I remember when the PS3 first launched, it didn't get a shit ton of multiplats that the 360 and PC had. What's your point?
I'm pretty sure it got a lot more than Wii U did.
Even if it did, it still missed out on a bunch. Oh,
No,
because
nowhere,
two
nowhere near,
wrongs don't make a right.
nowhere near the amount of what's it called? Games. Oh yeah, talking about the launch, you really can't compare that launch because that launch was a pretty big damn leap in graphics and gameplays and all that. Like right now, obviously the graphics aren't going to have as big of a leap, but the leap that the Wii U had in some games that do look a little better is pretty ridiculous. Calling that next gen.
Smaller leap.
Yeah, but I don't know too much about specs, but I do know that what is it? The 720 is supposed to be like 8 gigs, and the Wii U is like 8 gigs of RAM, and the Wii U is like 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty a lot. That's a pretty big difference. Like I said, I don't know too much about specs, but I do know that's a pretty
So because the 720 and PS4 will be stronger, that means the Wii U is not next gen.
not just strong. They're a lot.
Some console has to be the weakest, dude. They can't all be the
Yeah,
strongest.
but the leap shouldn't be that big. The leap should not be anywhere near that big.
The original Xbox shitted all over the PS2 on specs, dude.
I'm pretty sure that system had a lot of hardware
And
problems.
especially shitted all over the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast and Xbox, that was a huge ass leap, but they were still in the same gen, and people still consider the Dreamcast a next generation system.
Exactly. So the Xbox was better, and that's what's happening right now. The leap is not big, that much better, and then the 720 and PS4 is a lot better, which makes the Wii U not really. Just because a system comes out doesn't mean it's not going to be next gen. You can call it next gen all you want, but if you compare it to the other systems and there's a big ass leap, I'm not going to call the other system next gen. I'm just going to call it a new system came out the next generation. Next generation.
So because the Wii U is not going to be as strong as the 720 and PS4, that means it can't be considered next gen, despite the fact that the Wii U is more powerful than the PS3 and 360.
Like I said, those games, Batman Arkham City, Black Ops 2, they look like shit on a Wii U.
And you yourself explained why.
They have, what did they do? Have to scale it down because, what was the reason?
You yourself, I repeat, you yourself said it's because the developers rushed their ports.
Exactly. So they're going to continue to rush them, and the games are going to continue to look worse. So
that's the Wii U's fault?
why should I care? I'm not going to buy this. Oh, these games look like a lot worse than these systems, but it's okay. It's not the Wii U's fault. I'm still going to buy them. I'm not going to blame the Wii U. I care so much about the Wii U's feeling. I'm still going to buy them. I'm not going to blame a piece of plastic.
Why would I blame a console for what the developers are doing?
I do not care if a...
It's not about whether or not you care about it. It's about the facts.
Well, okay, if you buy a system and the games look better, worse, are you still going to buy them just because you have feelings for a Wii U?
I didn't buy my Wii U for Multiplats, dude.
So you bought... why didn't you buy it for Multiplat?
I bought my Wii U for the exclusives.
So why do you think the Multiplats are pretty important for a system, I'm pretty sure?
I don't see what point you're trying to make here, dude.
You're not really telling me it's okay if a system doesn't have any Multiplats?
It does have some.
Yeah, some. Some of them. The some aren't even that big, like Mass Effect. You're not getting the big, like the Multiplats that people want.
You hear that, guys? Mass Effect's not big.
Mass Effect 3 was pretty trash game. I'm sorry, but compared to Grand Theft Auto, Crisis 3, Hitman.
You said that Mass Effect 3 wasn't big. Did you just hear what you said?
The game was trash.
Even if that's what you think about the game is besides the point.
The
Whether or
game-
not it was trash doesn't matter. It was big.
the game had a lot of problems.
You can say Crisis 3
The
sucks,
game-
but it's still
the
a
game had
big
lot
game.
The game had a lot of problems.
Okay, was it big?
I guess you can call it big, but that's one game.
Okay then. So you contradicted yourself because now you're saying it's big when previously you said it wasn't.
Okay, so one game versus you want to say it's as big as a Grand Theft Auto or a Crisis?
I never said that. Now you're just assuming I'm saying things and putting words in my mouth. All I said was Mass Effect 3 was a big game. That's all I said. Leave it at that.
You're comparing them to those games because I was listing games, and you're like, oh well, this game came out, but if you know it's not as big, you wouldn't even list that game at hand. You weren't. I was comparing. I was talking about Crysis and Grand Theft Auto, and you obviously agreed that they're not as big as. Like you obviously agree that Mass Effect 3 isn't as big as those games I listed, but you still went ahead and brought that game up.
You brought Mass Effect 3 up first.
Because I expected.
You said the multiplats the Wii U has. Listen, you said the multiplats the Wii U has, they aren't big, and then you said Mass Effect 3 wasn't that big, and then I called you on, and I was like, yes, it was.
Yeah, everyone thought it was gonna be big, but it ended up being trash, which is a lot of people have been saying.
Dude, it was big. It was big.
Nowhere near as Grand Theft Auto.
Okay, it was big.
So let's say even if it was a good game, it was really big. One multi-plat title versus how many of it you're not getting?
That's not the point. You said the ones it has are not big. That's what you said. It's not about how many multiplats it's getting.
I'm not going to change my mind because he has one big multiplat. I'm not going to say, okay, he has one good multiplat. Okay, he has one good.
You're not understanding. You said, listen. You said the multiplats that are out on the Wii U now and that are coming. You said they're not big. That's what you said.
Yeah, because they don't have any big multiplats except one.
And then you said Mass Effect 3 isn't big, and I said, yes, it is. Which then you admitted that it was big. So it's not about how many multiplats are coming out. This particular argument right here is whether or not the multiplats it does have are big or not. That's the argument. The argument here isn't quantity. It's whether or not the multiplats it has right now are big. That's what the argument's about.
Okay, so
so Mass Effect 3 is big. Assassin's Creed 3 is big. Black Ops 2 is big.
And just because they're big doesn't mean they're going to be anywhere near as good as the one on the PS3 360. I can show you a side-by-side comparison.
I didn't say that.
Ops. So obviously,
I didn't say because they're big games they're going to be better than the PS3 and 360 versions. You're not understanding.
You know they're bad, and you're still gonna somehow defend the system.
You were saying that you were essentially saying that the multiplats that came out on the Wii U are irrelevant because they're not big. That's essentially what you were saying.
More than half of the multiplats, way more than half of the big multiplats are coming. So I'm gonna take the majority of the games that are the multiplats over. I'm not gonna change my mind over one or two actual big multiplats out of so many games that the Wii U is not gonna get.
You're not getting it, dude.
I know. I said, yeah. I kind of see what you see. I kind of see what you're saying there, but I'm not gonna, say that. Okay, you gotta take the majority of the games. You can't just change your mind. Oh, well, he has one big multiplat, but just forget like the 10, 15 other multiplats that aren't coming. I'm not gonna just tell you. You're not gonna tell me what he. Well, he does have one big multiplat, so I'm not gonna say that he has no big multiplats. Forget the Grand Theft Auto. Forget Crysis. Forget Hitman. Forget, let me look at some of these lists that the Wii U is not going to get multiplats for, but there's a lot more. Forget, Splinter Cell Blacklist. Forget about Dragon Age. Forget about, let's see, Metal Gear Rising. Those are big ones.
Okay.
Forget about Dead Space 3. Forget about Watch Dogs. Forget about, is it Tomb Raider? Yeah, it's
When did I say Mass Effect 3, Assassin's Creed 3, and Black Ops 2? When did I say that made the Wii U not having those multiplats you just listed okay?
Well,
When did I say that?
You wouldn't be arguing about the Wii U having about its multiplats in the first place if you knew
We're
that the Wii.
arguing about this because you brought it up. I didn't bring it up.
My argument was that Wii U is not having really any big multiplats except, I should have reworded that except one or two because I thought you would have known what I meant by saying that it's really not getting any except one or two.
Okay, so the Wii U's missing out on a lot of multiplats, okay?
That's a pretty damn big problem.
To who?
Are you really gonna? I'm not sure there's a point of debating if you're really gonna say multiplats aren't important on the system.
I'm not saying they're not important. I'm saying who is it a problem to? It's not a
People-
problem to the gamers.
Yep. Yeah, it's a problem to the game. If they're not getting multiplats on their system, it is a problem.
Gamers have other systems that they could play those multiplats on.
Why are you comparing? Why are we talking? I'm talking about the Wii U. I don't care what the other system's getting. People wouldn't be making these arguments in the first place. I'm not the only one making these arguments. There's plenty of other people that made these points.
Okay.
So obviously, it's not just me that's saying this is a problem.
You do realize that the word multiplat means it's on multiple systems. So if a multiplat's not coming to the Wii U, that doesn't mean that somebody is screwed. Because that person has other systems.
Don't buy them just for exclusives.
Like, Crysis 3 isn't coming to the Wii U, Nick. Am I screwed?
Maybe you aren't, but not everyone in the world owns every system that ever comes out. So there are casual gamers out there that don't know that these. I mean, most casual gamers don't even know about the games that aren't coming out. That's what I'm trying to say. You have multiple systems. Not every gamer has every single system.
Dude, there are 80. Let me see. Let me see what numbers they're at now.
I'm so surprised you're talking about the PS3 360 when I'm talking about a Wii U right now.
There are 73 million Xbox 360 users, and there are 72.3 million PS3 users. Roughly 140 360 and PS3 owners. My point is, if somebody cares that much about the multiplats not coming to Wii U, they have other systems they could play those multiplats
Now you gotta go out there and buy. Now you gotta go out there. Now I can't play the so-called next generation system with these new games. I gotta go back to the so-called last generation system and buy these games. Wow, you can't even play.
It's systems these people already own.
Well, you want to get the next gen experience, don't you?
Yeah. So why would I want to play current gen games?
These games that are coming out, it's affecting the Wii U because these games are.
Even if these multiplats were coming out on the Wii U, you still wouldn't be getting a next gen experience because these are games that were developed for the current gen consoles.
Well, you were saying how they would look better on the Wii U, so these games should obviously.
When did I say that?
Weren't you comparing?
When did I say Grand Theft Auto 5 was going to look better on the Wii U? When did I say that?
Well, obviously you were talking about the hardware and being better, so obviously I would expect the games to look better.
Who's expecting that?
People that buy the system.
Except everybody knows good and well that half of these devs aren't even supporting Nintendo, and then the other half that are rushing the ports.
Didn't they stop the game for what is it called? The Metroid. Some Metroid game stopped making for it. They stopped developing for the Wii U because they didn't think the Wii U was that powerful, or something like that.
Metroid game.
Some game. What's that game they stopped making for the Wii U? It was supposed to be a Wii U exclusive, but then they stopped making it. Oh, let me look it up.
No, are you thinking about Metro?
Some game. I'm not.
You're thinking about Metro Last Light.
Yeah, that game. Yeah, sorry, Metro. Why do you think that they stopped developing for it? What did they do?
Guys, who was the company behind Metro, guys? I think that was THQ. Where's THQ at right now, guys? Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure you get the point.
If you can make them a lot of money off that Wii U, they obviously would put it on.
Why would you spend millions of dollars porting your game to a console with a small install base when you're a dying company? Do you realize what you are saying?
Is EA a dying company? They said that the Wii. They even came out and said the Wii U is not really a next gen.
EA is mad at Nintendo because Nintendo didn't accept Origin as their online.
That's your opinion?
No, that's not an opinion.
You want to think
That is a fact.
just because they're mad doesn't mean they're not going to completely just shun them and say
Yeah, not completely because the Wii U is still going to get its Madden.
And why aren't those games that do come out why aren't those last generation games coming for the Wii U? Why do they look worse on the Wii U than they do on the PS3 and 360? I wonder why. Like Batman.
Because, as you yourself have already explained to yourself, they rushed the ports.
They might have rushed some of the games, but there's no way every game this came out just completely rushed and completely just looked trash. There's no way that all those games were rushed.
So all these Wii U Multiplats, they just look trash compared to the 360 and PC versions.
Well, they're being compared side by side, the frame rate and graphics, and oh, Damon, no, I did not say your name. Oh, sorry, someone came out and asked if I said their YouTube name. Yeah, obviously they've been compared side by side.
Yeah. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm trying to think this debate's gone far.
That's why I'm working on my apartment, y'all.
Yeah, this debate's kind of far too long from yesterday. I don't think we're getting at.
So, who do you think won?
Well, you think I see your points as opinionated because you think that for you think that not having multiplats on the system is okay. You think not having DVDs on your system is not a disadvantage.
It's not whether or not it's okay. It's about nobody cares. I've already explained this in a
nobody
video.
cares about having multiplats. Wow.
Nobody buys a Nintendo system for multiplats. When somebody is buying a Nintendo system, they go into that purchase with the mindset that they're not going to get every multiplat on that system. It's been like that since the N64 days.
No, Black Baron was talking about how good Black Ops 2 is going to be on the Wii U. You yourself own Black Ops 2 on the Wii U. Oh, I thought nobody buys multiplats for the Wii U, but you yourself...
I didn't say that.
You just said nobody buys...
I didn't say that. I didn't say nobody buys multiplats for the Wii U. I said nobody buys a Nintendo console for multiplats. Buying a multiplat for a console is not the same thing as buying a console for a multiplat.
You buy a system for multiplats and exclusives. You don't just buy them for exclusives. And if you think that's your opinion.
I didn't buy my Wii U for multiplats, dude.
Obviously,
you don't see the difference. You don't see the difference of buying a game for a system rather than buying a system for a game. There's a difference.
Well, if that's what you do, doesn't mean that everyone.
Oh, because I bought Black Ops on the Wii U, that doesn't mean I bought a Wii U to play Black Ops. Because I could have played Black Ops on my PS3. Could did it on my 360. So I didn't buy a Wii U for Black Ops. I bought Black Ops for the Wii U. There's a difference.
Yeah, there's probably other people that did expect the Wii U to have good multiplats, so they bought it for both reasons, exclusives and multiplats.
Who
Baron,
bought the Wii U for multiplats?
I never said just for multiplats. I'm saying for exclusives and multiplats.
Who bought a Wii U with the mindset that, ooh, I can't wait to buy all these multiplats coming out for it?
Dr. Trey.
Nobody does.
Trey, whatever his name is, Dr. Trey.
No, he wasn't going to buy a Wii U for the multiplats. He was going to buy a Wii U even if 0 multiplats were announced for the system.
I'm pretty sure he made a video saying how the definitive versions will be on the Wii U, and
that's not saying he was going to buy a Wii U for those multiplats. That's him saying he will buy those multiplats for the Wii U.
Yeah, and I never said that just for multiplats. I said for exclusives and multiplats.
He's buying the game for the console, not the console for the game.
You're saying stuff I never said. I said for multiplats and exclusives.
Not even that.
Yes, you buy a system for
multiplats. Not even that. Who bought a GameCube for the multiplats and exclusives? Who did that? Who bought a GameCube for the multiplats and exclusives?
People that don't own every system that ever comes out?
Everybody and their mama owned a PS2, bro. The PS2 has sold over 150 million units. Everybody and their mama owned the PS2.
You're going to sit here and tell me that every gamer now owns the Wii U, PS3, 360, Wii, and the gaming PC? Oh, wow. Okay. I believe you, too.
Why is he still yelling? Oh, sorry. Go on.
So you're telling me that every gamer owns every system that ever comes out? Yeah, I doubt it. I'm sorry.
Hold on.
No.
Yeah. Do I have a USB cord? No. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so according to you, every gamer owns every single system, every single every game that comes out owns every single system.
Everybody last gen who cared about multiplats, they owned the PS2.
That's your opinion.
They owned a PS2.
Yeah, that's a PS2, but some people didn't own the Xbox. Some people didn't own the GameCube. Like right now, not everybody owns the 360 Wii. And
whoever owned a solo GameCube, nothing else, last generation, they didn't care about the multiplats. But anybody who cared for multiplats last gen, they had a PS2. The GameCube sold 25 million. The PS2 sold 150 million. What makes you think everybody who didn't own a GameCube that cared about exclusives didn't own a PS2?
I'm still surprised that you're denying that every person that aren't that aware of about what's going on in gaming buys a Wii U. Doesn't.
You said people buy a console for multiplats and exclusives. I'm asking you, why in the world would somebody buy a GameCube for multiplats and exclusives? Why would somebody buy a GameCube? The GameCube didn't have shit.
There are people playing Call of Duty games on the Wii U, and that's pretty ridiculous. Do people still do it? Yeah, they still do it. There's gaming community channels for the Wii before the Wii U came out for Call of Duty on the Wii, and that game was complete dog shit on the Wii. And do people still do it? Yeah, they still do it.
But did they buy their Wii for Call of Duty?
If there's gaming channels...
Did they buy their Wii for Call of Duty?
Obviously, if they make gaming channels...
Yes or no, did they buy their Wii for Call of Duty?
Not just for...
No, exactly. Thank you. That is my point. It's over.
But they don't own... Maybe they don't own other systems, and they expected it to have multiplats. Why would there be
somebody bought a Wii expecting the Wii to get HD multiplats? A system that doesn't support HD. You mean to tell me that people bought A SD system expecting HD multiplats.
Well, this is funny coming from you because I thought Nintendo fans didn't care about graphics. They care about the gameplay.
What does that have to do with what I'm saying?
So you're saying not everybody buys the games just because it's not in HD. They'll buy it.
You're not understanding, dude. You're not understanding. You said that those people buy Wii's expecting multiplats.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, why would they expect HD multiplats when the Wii didn't even support HD? Do you understand how retarded that is?
So you're saying that the Wii version of Monster 3 isn't HD, but people still expected it to come to the Wii. They still bought it regardless of it being HD or not.
Yeah, the Call of Duty games could be expected. Anything else outside of Call of Duty and sports? No.
Like, yes, they did have those NBA games. They did have.
I said sports.
Football games. Yeah, NBA game's not a sport game.
But sports games are always going to be on everything, dude, including handhelds, including phones, including tablets.
You can't expect.
Those are givens.
So you can't expect to have those on your system.
You can expect to have the sports, yes, because sports games get put on everything. Like I said, they get put on phones, they get put on the handhelds, they get put on tablets.
Exactly. That proves my point.
But you're talking about, that's just sports and Call of Duty. There's so many more multiplats out there. There's the Battlefields, and there's the Dead Spaces, and there's the Grand Theft Autos, and there's the Assassin's Creeds. They vastly outnumber the sports games and the Call of Duties. You told me that these people who bought Wii's were expecting multiplats. I'm telling you, you are wrong because everybody knew how severely underpowered the Wii U was compared to the 360 and PS3. Why would we expect Crytek to go through the trouble of downscaling Crysis 2 to get put on the Wii?
Well, I thought the hardware was so great. I mean, I thought it could handle the game.
Who talked about the Wii's hardware being so great?
Sorry, the Wii. Because why would they have to downscale in the first place?
Because the Wii is weak.
I'm talking about the Wii U or the Multiplats.
We're talking about the Wii here.
Well, you were talking about, didn't you just name the new Crysis game coming out? Or did you say
I said Crysis 2 being downscaled to the Wii. I didn't say Crysis 3 being downscaled to the Wii U, which wouldn't have to be a downscaling.
I mean...
You told me that people bought Wii's expecting multiplats. Do you see how funny that is?
Have you asked every person that was planning to buy a Wii?
Dude, this isn't one of those things where you have to go around and survey. It is it's universal knowledge. It is common sense that the Wii was not going to get all these multiplats.
Yeah, those 10-year-olds or soccer moms, do you really think they're going to know about that? Most people that buy...
The 10-year-olds and soccer moms, they don't care for Dead Space. They don't care for Battlefield. Those people just want they just want the casual games.
Those games are big for a reason. And obviously, if they're big, a little bit of every type of groups of gamers are going to buy that game.
So, when I bought a Wii, I should have been expecting multiplats from the PS3 and 360.
If you don't care about the graphics, then I guess
I should have expected every developer to spend millions upon millions of dollars to optimize their engines to work on hardware that is like 15 times weaker than the 360 and PS3.
Well, the phones are getting multiplats, and how much weaker are they?
That's like saying I should expect developers to downscale GameCube games to put on my N64. That's what that's saying. Do you realize how retarded that is?
There's literally multiplats coming to freaking iPhone apps, and are people still buying them? Yes.
Dude, they're not taking the PS3 and 360 versions and throwing them on the phones, dude. They have their own engines they have already set up and optimized for tablets and mobile.
Point is, not everybody's aware. Not everybody does as much as we do.
And the phones and tablets have a modern feature set. The Wii didn't.
not everybody knows about that stuff. Not everybody's not. Most people that buy a system don't even do research on the system. Just buy it, like a casual gamer would buy. They're not gonna look. Like when the Wii came out, then no one goes out and looks for these. Well, I'm not gonna say no one, but a big part of the group that did buy the Wii, they're not gonna know about hardware. I mean, it's a gaming system. A lot of people will buy it without research.
So casual gamers bought a Wii and they expected multiplats.
If they have no research on the system, yeah.
Casual gamers were expecting multiplats on the Wii.
If they have not done your research in the
Casual gamers were expecting hardcore multiplats on the Wii. Do you hear what you're saying?
Well, kind of depends what you mean by casual.
You're saying they expected games that they don't even care about. You're saying they were expecting games that most of them probably didn't even know about. What does my mom know about Dead Space?
When you buy a system, you probably expect some games to come out. If I had no research in this gaming system, and I buy it, and I'm like, I know games are gonna come here, and I know that there are multiplats. I'm not sure which type of multiplats, but I do expect multiplats to come to this system.
So when my grandma, when my 60, no, she's 70 now. When my 70-year-old grandma bought a Wii, my grandma was like, "Oh man, I can't wait to play Battlefield 3 on my Wii," right?
Well, a 70-year-old versus like a 10-year-old, that's
10-year-olds don't buy systems, dude. They get their moms to do that.
Do you think their mom knows about,
Moms don't know about that stuff either. What does a mom know about Assassin's Creed?
Most 70-year-olds don't even play video games. I'm just saying.
Dude, you're telling me that people were expecting games. How can you expect something that you don't even know exists? That makes no sense.
If I never done research on a game and I just buy a system, and I'm like, you know what? I think this system, I'm gonna take the risk of buying, and I do expect games to come with this system. I'm gonna buy it.
Let me think of
I see what you're saying, but there are people that have never heard about,
what?
like they're really let's say you never heard of, Dead Space and come a game, but you let's say you see it, advertised, and you don't, know that it's not coming to your system. Oh, well, the casual, those 10-year-olds or soccer moms, they're not going to know. They're still going to expect it to come to their system.
No, they're not. You
yeah.
can't expect something you don't know about. And you brought up an example of a commercial. If they're watching a commercial, then they would damn well know it's not coming to the Wii, because the Wii would not be listed at the bottom of that commercial. You just destroyed yourself.
You can, okay, maybe the commercial thing wasn't such a great example, but if you buy a system, you should always expect games to come out for it, regardless.
How can you expect games you don't know exist?
It's a video game system. I mean, when you buy your system, do you expect in the future?
What does my mama know about Devil May Cry?
If you buy a video game system, you should expect to have new games you never heard of to come out for your system.
Yeah, but you're just talking about in general. When previously you were talking about specifically, these multiplats that are on the 360 and PS3. Yeah, if you buy a Wii, you should expect new games to come out for it, but that doesn't mean that you should expect the multiplats that are coming out for the HD systems.
If you don't watch these commercials, we want to know about it.
Exactly. So how can you expect something you don't know about?
You don't expect it not to come out for your system, but if you just hear about the game, you wouldn't know that, oh, well, it's not coming to your system.
If I didn't know that Reggie Fils-Aimé was on his way to my house right now so I could interview him, how would I expect it if I didn't know he's on his way? If I didn't know he was coming, how can I expect something I didn't know was coming? That makes no sense. You can't expect something you don't know about.
You're talking about a CEO coming to your house, and I'm talking about games. You can expect the unexpected. It's just, I know that sounds really cheesy. I'm sorry, that sounds really cheesy, but I'm just trying to. You never know. I mean, if you have no research in the game,
No, but here's the thing, though. You, firstly, okay, it's ridiculous that you use that line. But secondly, that is not an argument because it's not simply expecting the unexpected. In your case, what you're talking about, you're saying expecting what you don't even know about.
my
So
point
it's
is,
unexpected and you don't even know about it.
what multiplats were. Let's say you know the definition of multiplats, but you don't know certain type of games. You can make a prediction without research and say, oh, maybe this game will come out since it's a multiplat, but you don't know what multiplat, you know. So you buy the system anyway.
So a soccer mom who bought a Wii, she sees a Left 4 Dead commercial, and she says, "Oh, maybe that will come to the Wii, and I'll pick it up." Right?
Yeah, not everybody watches commercials. Not everybody watches commercials from beginning to the end.
Come on, dude. Come on.
Come
I,
on,
I, I
what?
think it's time to just admit that you've lost.
That's debatable. I mean, I think this debate's gone far too long, especially from last night. Um, I mean, you have your opinions
I have my facts, yes.
that you somehow these disadvantages aren't a problem that I listed, and if you think that's not a problem, go ahead. I mean, yeah, I think it's a good time to end this debate.
Okay.
All right,
Well, you have a good day, man.
all right, you too. All right, see you.
Expect the unexpected, y'all. Expect what you don't know. What's up, man? And like the fun, like he destroyed himself with the whole commercial thing. Like he really did. Because I was like, if somebody's watching a commercial, then they would definitely know it's not coming to the Wii. Because they watched the commercial. In the commercials, they show which platforms the game is available for. Like he destroyed himself. Well, let me end this stream.